Okay, please welcome St. Joseph's head coach, Cindy Griffin, to the call. Coach Griffin?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, thanks.
Thanks for being on with us.
Sure.
St. Joseph's went 20-12 overall last season, 8-6 in the A10. The Hawks returned 5 starters among 11 letter winners. St. Joseph's picked to finish 5th in the league and will be led by preseason all-conference selection Michelle Baker. Coach, talk about the first couple weeks of practice and your early impressions of your team, please.
The first couple of weeks have been going really well. Knock on wood, no injuries. Everybody's healthy. And, it's been very competitive in practice. We do return 11 letter winners, as you had noted, and we have 4 seniors. So we have a lot of experience coming back. They're catching on to things quicker, as we would expect them to be at this point. And we're certainly not a fine oiled machine by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm very pleased with our progress thus far.
Yeah. We will now open up to members of the media. Members of the media are reminded to press *1 to ask Coach Griffin a question.
And we will go first to Mel Greenberg of the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Morning, Cindy.
No.
It's good that maybe since the first time in about 3 or 4 years, like you said, knock wood, that you can speak of health at this point of the season, or good health.
It is. I mean, as you know, we had a couple injuries and one kid in particular with Ashley Robinson not being able to play her first 2 years here. So, all systems go with her, and we're very excited about having her on the court. And, she was a top 100 kid coming out of high school, and, it's nice to have her as an option this year.
It's funny. I guess it speaks how the league has changed. There was a time that, you would have looked at 5th place and you would have felt like you're down the line, but 5th is actually maybe the highest you've picked in a couple of years. And as deep as the league has gotten, I guess that's a pretty good place to start.
I think it is. I think it's so competitive on any given night. Anybody can beat anybody, and it comes down to you've got to win. You got to win your home games and win at least 50% of your away games. And it's very, very, very competitive. I think 5th is a good place to be. We certainly would like to finish in the top 4. Obviously, getting that bye is sometimes beneficial if you want to go on to win the tournament. But I'm happy where we are. I think that's really where we are right now, and it's up to us to see if we can get creep up as we go along. And certainly it's way down the road, and we got a tough non-conference schedule coming up. And the league has just really made its name for itself over the course of the last 4 or 5 years as far as placing 8 teams in postseason. And let's see this year if we can get 4 in the big dance.
Does the tie, and you've seen this league as a player and as a coach, I think that's the first. Does that tie speak to the fact that maybe, unlike the last couple of years, that nobody's really going to run away during the season?
I think it does. I think if you look at these teams that are in the top 6 right now, are returning most of their backcourt, most of their leading scorers. And Dayton and Temple obviously are coming off great years, and they're returning a lot of key players. But I look at the Duquesnes and the Charlottes, the Bonnies, and you can go down the list and say, you know what, there's a lot of great players in our league, and without Xavier's, those 2 big kids and Special Jennings, I mean, they were a staple for the last 4 years that, was challenging obviously to beat them. And now I think there's a little more parity within the 14 teams in our conference. And, these are just numbers today, but honestly, it could be the number 10 team winning it all. I truly believe that. So, it speaks volumes of the competitiveness and the talent in our conference.
Yeah, just a clarification, make sure it wasn't a typo, is where I saw your roster somewhere other than your site. Is Ashley a redshirt sophomore, or is she a redshirt freshman? Because she hasn't really played yet, but I don't know what the NCAA rule is on that.
That's a good question. I think, she obviously has 5 years to complete 4, but I'm sure if we went through the appeal process, she would be able to get her that 6th year, if you will. So until we do that, I guess that's probably unfinished business right now. She's technically a freshman. She still has her 4 years. If we go through and she does get granted the appeal, which a lot of times it is granted.
Right. Okay, thanks a lot for that.
Mm-hmm.
And we will go next to Shane White of 1660 Information Radio.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Shane.
Looking at where you're predicted to finish as well as what you've got coming back, a lot of good positive hype around your program. How does your team feel and you as a coaching staff feel about having the ability to host the A10 tournament at the end of the season? Is that just add to the excitement that is there building around your program?
It is. I think, we talked about it once in the spring, once it was declared that we were hosting. We talked about it again this fall. But, I think that excitement's going to come as we get more into Atlantic 10 play, because we know, obviously that we'll be at home, and it's going to be a great atmosphere for the Atlantic 10. So I think that the kids are in the back of our heads, everybody's heads, that we're very excited about hosting. But there's a lot of things that we have to do before that, to even A, get into the tournament, and B, seed ourselves in a situation where we could be successful.
We have one more question at this time. That comes from Rich Radford, the Virginian Pilot.
Coach, you say it could be the number 10 team winning it all. Could it be the number 5 team winning it all?
It could be the number 5 team winning it all. I think that we have, the pieces of the puzzle that can compete in this league, and not only compete but can win in this league. I really think this could be a really good team to obviously put ourselves out there and have the productivity and the defensive wherewithal to be in that position. And I always tell our kids, just put us in position, and things are going to take care of itself. So a lot of things have to happen. I do think that with the parity in this league, I think that we match up very well with a lot of the top teams in our league that are picked ahead of us and below us. And I think it can be a really, really very successful year for us.
Thank you, Coach. That's all the time we have with Coach Griffin for today.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you this season.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.